Welcome everyone. My name is Francisco Paso, Head of Growth and Ecosystem at Eventify. Eventify is an app to manage end-to-end the life cycle of any events or conference. Today I'm really pumped because we are at EventTech Live and actually live recording a podcast episode of Behind the Experience. That is a podcast we have been inviting different event professionals to unveil the secrets behind memorable experiences for events. Today I just want to say welcome, Vanessa Lovatt.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Yes, my team prepared a nice intro, so I want to read that for you because it's really inspiring. Okay, of course, we have been friends almost a year now. We met actually a year ago at EventTech Live, so this is like a dream come true for me. So Vanessa, she is the founder of EventTech World and a strategy consultant at FT Live. She has more than 20 years in the B2B events and communities. Vanessa's built her career on a customer-first approach, and today she's going to help us cut through the noise on what's actually working in our industry right now.
Well, I'm going to try, no pressure.
No, I think that you're going to be fine, no problem. So, because we have this opportunity to, like how people used to say, pick your brain, I want to start right away. Vanessa, let's talk about event success.
Yeah.
We all send out post-event surveys to understand feedback, what we can improve and all that. Even sometimes NPS scores, right? But there is a difference of NPS scores against what the things that you can feel in the room or see in attendee behavior that tell you an event is actually landing.
Yeah.
No? What should event professionals be paying attention beyond those metrics? What's your point of view?
This is such a great question for our entire industry right now because things are changing. If you had asked this question 3 years ago, 2 years ago, oh my goodness, post-COVID times, it would still all have been around customer satisfaction, basic metrics, things we're familiar with, NPS scores, definitely how I was measuring NPS scores really religiously and nothing else. But we're really lucky now. We have so many other things we can measure. So when you said attendee behavior, I think that's really the essence of it. And how we go about measuring that is not easy. Just to be clear, nothing that I'm about to say is easy, but it is an opportunity for improvement to better understand how your event is landing. So the behavior could be everything from how an attendee is moving around your event, which you can use tracking software to work that out. It could be identifying exactly which sessions they went to, as opposed to the ones they told you they were thinking about going to, and you never really know if they went to them or not. There's some really cool stuff you can do with facial sentiment analysis. So this is not recognition. This is not about saying, oh, that person is Francisco. This is about saying, was that person, whoever that person is, happy, sad, disappointed, frustrated? And I heard a really interesting case study. It was a car launch, and they positioned these micro cameras all over the car so that they could see how people were responding, their facial sentiment responses to the car. And what they could see very clearly was when the people at that show went to the back of the car, it was at one of the big car shows, when they went to the back of the car, they were disappointed, they were confused, they didn't like it. So what that fed back to the manufacturer of that car was, people love the front, they love the side, they are not happy when they see the back, we have to make some adjustments. Now, without that software to identify that sentiment, it would have been a, did you like the car? Yes, no. And because they mostly like the car, they would have said yes. And this all took place at a live event, and that is where this data was gathered. The other cool example, I don't want to go too heavy on facial sentiment, but I do think it's interesting. Cool example I heard was at a very large internal event, so about 800 internal employees all coming together to hear mostly senior leadership presentations. And they used facial sentiment to analyze how the audience were responding to the presenters. So this is a really typical use case of many of the people who will be here today at EventTech Live. What they discovered was that the session that generated the least positive sentiment was the CEO's presentation. Oh yeah. So the agency who were responsible for the tech obviously then had a bit of a challenging conversation to feed that information back. They had to position that carefully to not be struck off for the following year. I'm being a bit dramatic. But the reality is that agency became even more valuable to that organization because what they were able to share through this event behavioral insight, the attendee behavioral insight, was actually that the CEO wasn't landing and that they needed to make changes for the subsequent presentations and sessions that were taking place. So those are just a few examples of where I think we can go way beyond NPS. That's not to say don't do NPS. If you're doing NPS and nothing else, keep doing it. You won't regret it. You need that for sure. But there is more. And yes, you need some budget. You need to build the business case. You probably need to look at these things as a bit of a long-term investment. It's not always a super quick hit, but at least be aware of what's out there and what's possible. Does that answer some of your questions? Do you have more questions around this?
I think that, these days, the way that, we could perceive the vibe after a talk or during the talk was only feedback coming from the MC.
Yeah.
Now, the MC usually is the one that can gather that vibe and understand how things are going. Right?
I've just thought of other things that you could do as well, and I am thinking a little bit on my feet here, but you have these amazing tools now for photo sharing after events. I've been lucky to use a couple of them on Event Tech World. There's one on site today here. Am I allowed to name names of tools?
It's okay.
A Memento. I say that just because they've been everywhere today. What that does is you take a photo of yourself, a selfie. They do not use that selfie. This is the same for all the platforms that do this, and there are many. And then that gives you instant access to all the photos of you, which of course you're going to social share. I say of course, many of you are going to then go on to social share because it's easy, it's there, it's done for you. Tracking that social sharing helps you again understand how has this landed or not landed. There's amazing tools now for post-session content summarization. I mean, some of these tools are truly phenomenal and I would say quite cost accessible as well.
Yeah.
And again, tracking how that social sharing, or even, it doesn't have to necessarily be social sharing, it could be through WhatsApp sharing or even internal sharing by email. That helps you understand, did this land? If more people are sharing your post-event content, be that photos, video, written documentation, I would say that's a good indicator that things have landed well. And these are great things to report upwards in your organization as to why your event is being a success.
Yeah, I love this idea. Today, the Eventify Live is working with Voxshow, I think for...
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and also we have used in the past Snapside as well.
Yes.
That's similar idea. That's great. I think that these are great ideas, we can consider. We are at Led by Community, in the London Community Week conference, we actually use Memento for all the social sharing. You have seen, for instance, almost 85% adoption from the total attendees. So I think that people love that.
Yeah. And to reiterate, to be neutral, there are others.
Well, these tools now kind of guide us through the AI things. We have a few questions related to AI. For instance, AI is signal or is noise right now? For instance, AI is everywhere. We know that. But from your position, seeing the tech landscape through Event Tech World, what's actually relevant for event professionals versus what is just hype?
Yeah. I'm going to slightly answer in a different... No, I'm going to answer your question, actually, and then I'm going to reframe it, if that's okay. All of the signal, and there is plenty of signal, is coming from the suppliers. And that's a bit of a risk moment, in my opinion, for the event world, because what we need is that signal to be coming from the users and the buyers. And right now, I think the users and the buyers mostly find it quite noisy. Yeah. And I understand that. I think it is quite noisy, and that's okay. But what we really need the users and the buyers to start to think about is what they're trying to achieve and how AI may be able to help them achieve that. We're in a slight world at the moment where there's a lot of focus from senior members, well above event teams, saying use more AI. Use more AI. And that is trickling down. This is happening in many organizations, and I hear this a lot at Event Tech World meetups. People come and they say, okay, we've been told by our CMO, for example, we need to use more AI. What are you guys doing? And I'm like, okay, I get it. We've all been there where we've had the pressure for use more AI, but actually, what are you trying to achieve? Focus on that and then work backwards and identify where there may be tools that happen to use AI that will help you achieve your goal. That's when I think we'll move from noise for the users and the buyers to actual signal, which is I'm trying to achieve better personalization, for example. And I think that is a great opportunity for AI usage. I'm trying to achieve better post-event personalization. The tools that I'm looking at, I need to do A, B, and C. Oh, and it seems that the companies that can help me with that happen to also use AI to do that. If, however, you're trying to achieve something totally different that simply does not need AI to help you do it, for the love of God, don't use AI just to tick a box. And yes, it might make for a slightly more challenging conversation in the short term of, no, we haven't perhaps adopted AI as much as the CMO wanted, but I've still got the results. Are you going to argue with me? I've got the results, right? And I think that's got to be the real focus. What are we trying to achieve? Focus on that. If it's AI that does that, awesome. If it's not, awesome.
Yeah. It's not about just saying, hey, my operations are AI powered. It's like, are these operations actually achieving business goals?
Okay, I got the best analogy for this. I was on the Glean-In customer advisory board, and they had a wonderful guest presenter. He's called Stuart Wintertier. I really recommend following him on LinkedIn. He's like he's not an event guy, but he is a total voice of reason when it comes to AI. He just sifts out all the rubbish. I was going to say a bad word then. And he gave us a wonderful analogy. He said, imagine if I said to you, hey, check out this new fridge I got. It's powered by electricity. Who cares, right? I wouldn't give a crap. What I want to know is, how cold does it keep my food? How much longer does it keep my food fresh? How much storage has it got? How many eggs can I fit in the door? Whatever it might be. It doesn't matter that it's powered by electricity. And actually, it's a joke that I would say that to you. It's the same thing. If your tool is going to help me achieve my goal, that's what I care about. So that's what we've really got to keep focused on.
Yeah, love it. Thank you so much for sharing this. Then, Eventech World is all about getting people together. It's actually a beautiful community. I am a member as well.
He is. He's an amazing member. He is committed and loyal, and thank you so much for that.
Yes, no worries. I am a community builder as well, so I really love that aspect of the whole experience of the Eventech World. So I said to my team, hey, we should include a few community building questions to take advantage of how things are going there. So you built the Eventech World as a community for event tech buyers. What's actually working today to build and sustain communities around event professionals? Because we are seeing many communities launch with momentum and then go quiet.
Yeah. So I have a quick question back to make sure I've understood, actually. Hearing it out loud is very different to reading it on a sheet of paper. Do you mean communities specifically for event profs or communities run by event professionals for
I think
other
that is
people?
the question is most towards how we can serve properly event professionals with a community of practice for them.
So my gut instinct on that is be tailored in what is being covered in that community. There are some wonderful, fantastic, brilliant events that take place for the event sector. I mean, goodness me, they all seem to take place in the next 3 weeks as well. This is one of them. Absolutely brilliant. And actually, this one is already niched down in that it's for event tech, and most of the others are quite generic. So for me, be focused, be niche. I think that really helps people feel like this is where I belong. So if you're an event marketer, for example, in fact, Club Ichi is a beautiful example of this. Absolutely fantastic community for event marketers. And it's really, 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 really niche on event marketers and their needs. And of course, there are things that will spin out of that are perhaps a little bit more macro in the events world, but it's just about that particular group of the events market. I think it's the same, and that runs outside the events world too. So if you are an event professional who's also trying to establish some sort of community, sort of 365 engagement with your attendees, think about being niche and being focused and being specific, because that's when people go, this is for me, this is where I belong, this is where I need to hang out. And the more generic you go, the less there's that sense of connection, that sense of belonging in a nutshell. I was on a panel this morning with Christine from Braindate, and she's an absolute pro on this, and she said as well, this sense of belonging and safety as well is really, really important.
Yes, I love that. At Led by Community, we run community of practice for B2B community professionals. Mostly our members are running customer communities. So for instance, we decided to keep going down that route instead of opening like community creators, coaching community and all that.
Yeah.
And I can kind of like this, the idea you're sharing resonates with me in that sense that when you reach down, it's true, you are not tapping into the whole world, but you are getting really the right people in the room, and they feel safe because they know that they share ideas and others will kind of react, engage and give them the right answers.
Did you know that I ran a customer community for an event tech business once? I don't know if I've ever told you that.
No, I missed that. That's great.
It was 2022, I think. It was a while ago now. And it was all about trying to help them to use the product better, fundamentally. But it was still all about how do we make this super focused, super what they need. This is where they come to get the answers. I think that's the crux of it. There's a lot of fun happening on the Event Tech Live floor right now.
I can see crowd comes. Having a good time, yeah. That's amazing. I think that, communities, the other day I did a post on LinkedIn saying, hey, thanks to AI, community-led growth is a must now.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, sorry, I have to go into that. I totally agree. And I feel this so passionately. And I've had people say it's comparable, but in this noisy AI noisy AI content world, the power of sitting down with someone else who has the same needs, challenges, goals, objectives as you is suddenly worth 10 times what it was 2 years ago, when actually you could probably find that to a certain extent online. And I think LinkedIn as well. I love LinkedIn, obviously. I mean, if you know me, you will know that. But as it gets noisier and noisier, I've had folks join Event Tech World saying, I'm finding it really hard to get the same insight that I used to get from LinkedIn. And it's because of this AI noise that's drowning it at times, it feels like. So I absolutely agree. Events and community, non-negotiables.
Yeah, agree. Tomorrow we are having this panel, what is the benefits for brands to run community events all year round? Actually, I'm bringing my friends from Notion and Zapier tomorrow to the panel.
Oh, so that's awesome. What time is that?
10 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay. So those are great speakers.
Yes. Claudia is a community manager at Zapier, and Faisa, she's from Notion team. And also Valentina Ruffoni is joining the panel.
Awesome. I mean, she's amazing. She has an amazing community. Pi, people in events, check it out.
Yes. Okay, let's keep going. So regarding event strategy, we talk about AI, we talk about communities, about event strategy. You've been a managing director for 3 businesses and now consult on strategy. If you are sitting down with an event professional who's overwhelmed by all the options, new tech, new formats, new metrics, what's your advice for cutting through and building a solid event strategy?
Goals. It's tough, right? To be a senior level event professional now, it is really tough. And I don't think we should ever pretend it's anything other than that, because we have fingers in so many pies. You have to be brilliant at developing people. You have to be brilliant at developing process. And now you also have to be brilliant at using and applying and adopting tech, and the right tech as well. It is overwhelming. It's stressful. I hear these chats sometimes, I'm done with this industry, and I get it. I think we've all been there at some point or another. However, if you bring it all back to goals, I think that makes a huge difference. And we've got, we're really bad in this industry of just saying events. How many different sorts of events are there? So if I break it down very simplistically into in-house corporate events, so they're probably running events either for some sort of internal communication and marketing purposes, lead generation purposes. That's one group. Then you've got another group which would be commercial events. So they're running their events to make profit, direct profit through sponsorship, conference tickets, whatever else it might be. But it's a revenue generation, profit generation exercise. That's the ultimate success factor. You've got different challenges in both of those groups as well. Then you've got association events. So there's so many other types too. I'm being very simplistic here. If we take the first group, the in-house corporate group, the 2 things I would say for them that keep coming up, and this is in event tech conversations, because that's most of my conversation now, not exclusively, but most of my conversations. Understanding the true goals of the event or the event portfolio, the outcomes, the success metrics, and having your stakeholders aligned on those is the number 1 priority. So if that means you need to get the head of sales, the head of marketing, the partner from the Middle East, if that's a law firm and that's the stakeholder, whoever are your stakeholders, They need to be brought into your event strategy planning as early as you can possibly engage them. And sometimes that's really tough, Francisco. Sometimes these guys do not pay the attention they need to until it's basically too late for the event lead to make a really strategic change. But those two things seem fundamental. And thinking about it, here are the goals, here are the objectives, here are the stakeholders aligned, and how am I going to build the people, team, the processes, and the technology to achieve those overall goals. I'm being so simplistic about it, but I think that 5 years ago, the tech bit really wasn't that important. It was all about people and process, and tech is now kind of unavoidable. So if you haven't got yourself feeling more competent with tech yet, this is the perfect time to do it. Come to Event Tech Live, perfect place to do it. If you look more at the exhibition folks, the strategic side, as I said, it's all going to be about profit. Exhibitions, conferences, it's going to be about profit ultimately, but thinking about how you build up to that profit level again has changed. So there's a lot of requirement to increase sponsorship revenues now, increase value presented to sponsors, which is noisier and noisier and noisier. Value to attendees, sort of return on attendee time, return on sponsor time, it's complex. But I still think the same exists. What are the people? What's the team that you're going to put in place? What processes are you going to implement? And what is the technology you're going to implement as well to help you with all of these things? There are some fantastic tech tools out there now that help you increase sponsorship revenue, channels, opportunities, but also help get more value back to the sponsors as well. And again, those just didn't exist a few years ago. So the game's changed, and I think we've got to bring in the people, process, and the tech.
Yeah, I love that. I know, like the highlight is goals, but have you or do you have maybe a quick framework we can share, like on how these goals can be set? Let's say maybe at team level or function level. Do you have an idea that we can share?
I think it would vary quite a bit across those two different profiles of events, and it's going. I hate dodging questions, but I am going to slightly dodge the question because I think it really depends on the goal of the event. But I would start with that. Then I would work backwards. I'm very much thinking on the spot here. I'd work backwards and look at those three different people, process, tech, and identify where you're great, where you're a bit shit and need to do more, and actually be really honest with yourself when you just don't know. And I think most... It's a bit harsh, but I think most people would probably fall into the just don't really know category on the tech, or the we do something but we're not really sure if it's as good as it could be. So I think I'd do a team meeting and I'd sit down and do that. I do have a doc which is 5 steps on how to get more with event tech. I just can't remember what the other 2 points are off the top of my head.
That's fine. That's totally fine. No problem. That was not a planned question, but I just, because we just explained, they did a nice breakdown on how these different goals applies for different type of events.
Yeah.
So I thought, makes sense.
And I'm going to say again, if you are running events, if you're an in-house planner for a corporate, stakeholder alignment. I'm just going to say it one more time, stakeholder alignment.
Yes.
Super important.
Yes, I agree with that. And I think that just like wrapping what we have discussed today is final thoughts. One thing event professionals should stop doing, and one thing they should start doing now. One thing event professionals should stop doing, and one thing they should start doing now.
If you're doing the same thing you did last year, just stop and check that that's actually the right thing to do. This world is moving fast, and there's every chance that just because you did something last year, it's not going to work as well this year. Sorry if that's a bit pessimistic. So stop just doing the same thing as last year. Start giving yourself time to understand event technology. I'm just going to keep it as simple as that. It's the biggest challenge overall at Event Tech World Meetups is how hard it is for event professionals to find the time to become better aware and better competent with event tech. Come to Event Tech Live, go to other shows where there might be some event tech sessions on, and even if it's uncomfortable, go to those sessions. Even if you have no idea what they're talking about, start somewhere. Come to Event Tech World. I hope I'm allowed to say that. Become a member, read some of the content, come to a meetup, speak to other people who are just like you and know they need to know more, but don't really know what they need to know yet. They just know they need to know more. So give yourself the time.
I love it. I love it. So first one, stop doing what you did last year. Review what's working.
Yeah.
Then right now, give yourself the time to explore event tech and dive deep.
Yeah.
Now is the time.
Start giving yourself the time.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for these pro tips. Then before we close, we should just let everyone know how they can connect with you, how they can join actually your community.
Yes, thank you so much. I mean, the easiest way to join is actually to just go to eventtechworld.com. And in the top right-hand side, there is a button that says sign up. And if you sign up, you then get access to some materials that exist already that are frameworks, like I said, 5 steps to brainstorm with your team how to get better results with Event Tech. There's a Event Tech Council report in there as well. There's a few bits and pieces that might be useful. And then we have in-person meetups and digital meetups too.
Nice.
And, I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me there too.
Love it. That's great. Well, on the Eventify side, if you want to learn more about Eventify, of course, just go eventify.io. We are also inviting event professionals to join our partner program. If you want to talk more about the partner program, reach out to me, Francisco Paso, on LinkedIn anytime. Happy to chat and see how we can collaborate. Vanessa, I'm really pumped of this conversation.
Thank
I
you.
learned lots.
Good.
I don't consider myself an event tech pro yet, but I'm a fan.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, I can see your eyes like sparkling. So yes, again, thanks for being with us today, and of course, thank you to my friends at Event Tech Live and First Sight Media for allowing us this beautiful studio.
It is stunning. It's absolutely. I feel very professional right now.
Yes, it's just like I'm a podcaster, like the dairy of the CEO of events, kind of. Well, thank you so much, everyone. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.